पुनर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome back to the Bhakti Shastri Nectar of Devotion Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu discussion. We began in the last to last class the actual text of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. We began with the Akhila Rasamrita Murti verse, that is the introductory verse. We saw the concept of Mangalacharan, which has these three divisions: Vastu Nirdesh, Namaskar, and Ashirvad. So the Vastu Nirdesh of the book Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is Akhila Rasamrita Murti, is Krishna, who is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. In the next class, and that is in last week, one class which we had gone into the other verses of the Mangalacharan, which were Bhagavan Vandana and Guru Vandana. So that is where we have been discussing, and we stopped at text 4 as far as I recollect. And today we are supposed to begin with text 5. So we saw in the last class what is Namaskar, and there are these Namaskar of Bhagavan Vandana, Guru Vandana, and Vaishnav Vandana. Bhagavan Vandana was this beautiful verse, Hridayasya Preranaya Pravrittoham Varaka Rupopi Tasya Hare Padakamalam Vande Chaitanya Devasya. And then this is Vaishnava Vandana. This is Guru Vandana. And offering obeisances to his spiritual master Sanatana Goswami. This is also a very beautiful verse. And then we saw this Vaishnava Vandana, this verse. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindho Charata Paribhuta Kala Jala Biha Bhakta Makaran Ashilita Mukti Nadikan Namasyami. So the bhaktas are compared to Makara. And there are three ways the bhaktas are compared to makaras. And we had this interactive discussion also how the bhaktas are compared to makara. So this is where we had finished. So today we will discuss the last part of the Mangalacharan, that is Ashirvad. There is Vastu Nirdesh, uh, Namaskar, and Ashirvad. So what is the Ashirvad verse of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu? So the Ashirvad verse of Chaitanya Charitamrit is this verse composed by Kaviraj Goswami. Anarpita charim chirat karunaavatirna kalo samarpayami tum unnatojjala rasam swabhaktim shriyam hari purata sundara dviti kadamba sandipita sadharidaya kandare spurita va sachinandana. So this is the Ashirvad which is giving, Kaviraj Goswami is giving us Sadha Hridaya Kandare. May you, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who have come to give Anarpita. Arpita means which is given. Anarpita, Charim, for a long time. Chirat, Karuna Avatirno. You are a Karuna Avatar. And you have come to give us that Unnata Ujvala Ras, your own devotion, and that to the highest mellow. That is the Madhurya Ras. Hari Purata Sundara. That Hari, now he is what? Dviti Kadamba Sandipita. He has taken the golden form. Let he always be situated in the innermost core of my heart. So that is the Ashirvad here. And the Ashirvad verse of Bhagavatam is the second verse of the first canto, first chapter. Dharma projit kaitavo pat kaitavo par atra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Vedam vastavamatra vastu shivadam taptrayonmulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim va Pareshwara Sadhyo Ridyavarudyate Prakritibi Shushubhish Tatshanat. So what is the Ashirvad? Ishvara Sadhyo Riddhi Avarudyate. The Ishwar, the Lord, immediately by just hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord is so pleased that immediately He comes and resides in our heart. Kriti means those who are accomplished. Those who are accomplished in their bhajan, moment they start hearing Krishna Katha, the Lord comes and resides in their heart. Moment Narad Muni takes his veena and starts glorifying Narayan, Narayan is present in his heart. And Tatshanat means immediately. So those who are accomplished, those who have perfected their bhakti, it happens immediately. But for the unaccomplished, it happens very soon. So this is the Ashirvad verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, text 5 of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, 115, is the Ashirvad verse of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Mimam sakavada vagne katinam apikutayannaso jivvam spurato sanatan suchiram dhava bhakti rasamritam buddhi. This is also a very beautiful verse to recite. O Sanatan, Sanatan, may your ocean of bhakti ras, tava bhakti rasamrita ambude. So he already has offered this book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, to Sanatan Goswami, his spiritual master. He has told him to come and reside in this ocean and Vishrama Mandir. You take pleasure, bliss by lying in the ocean of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So now he is again saying, O Sanatan, may your ocean of Bhakti Ras, Tava Bhakti Rasamrit Ambude, remain for a long time. Spiritu Suchiram. Suchiram means for a long time. What? Restricting the harsh arguments. Katinam api kutayan. Katina means hard-hearted people who, who have very harsh arguments about the absolute truth. Who are they? Of the proponents of karma and gyan, mimamsaka. So the karma mimamsaka and the jnana mimamsaka philosophers. Just as an ocean restricts the flame, jivvam, of the Vadaba fire, Vadaba Agni. So here, what is the Ashirvad? O Sanatan, may your ocean of Bhakti Ras remain for a long time, restricting the harsh arguments of the proponents of karma and gyan, just as the ocean restricts the flame of the Vadaba fire. So what this verse means, we will have to go into the explanation what the acharyas have given. Otherwise, it's very difficult for us to understand. So Jeev Goswami has given a commentary. He prays to the lotus feet of Guru for the continued presence of his scripture, while which will eliminate the criticism of challengers. For the continued presence of his scripture. The challengers, Mimamsaka, are of two types, those who deliberate on karma and those who deliberate on Gyan. So we know that there are the Karma Mimamsakas and the Jnana Mimamsakas. The Karma Mimamsakas are the followers of Jamini Rishi, who propagated the Karma Mimamsa philosophy. The Jnana Mimamsak are especially the Mayavadis or even the Brahmavadis, the impersonal Brahman. So ultimately, they meditate on the impersonal Brahman. They are the Jnana Mimamsakas. Jivvam refers to fire, means a flame as well as a tongue. So Jiva can mean fire and it can mean also the tongue. The tongue also emanates fire in the form of fierce, fiery arguments. Sometimes we make a statement, oh, that was a very fiery speech. So it was not that fire was coming out from when you were speaking, but the speech was very fiery. It was filled with a lot of, maybe compassion or passion, whatever it is. So like that, Jivvam refers to the flame as well as the tongue. This flame or tongue is described as belonging to the Vadaba fire. Vadaba Agni Jivvam. So the flame or the tongue is described to belonging to Vadaba fire. To distinguish it from the well-known 7 flames of the fire which are used to consume the sacrifices. So the Jiva is actually the Vadaba fire and it is not the Jiva in the Yagya. In the Yagya, the Agni is compared to the Jiva of Vishnu, where he takes the Ahuti, the offerings he accepts. So there are different kinds of fires even in the Yagya, and that's a technical part. It is not necessary for us to know that. There are different kinds of fires in the Yagya. Now here is a very important note. Under the ocean, near the South Pole, a fire from the lower region emerges from a hole called as the mouth of the mare. Mare is a horse, Vadaba. Aurva, born in the Bhrigu dynasty, was about to be killed by the sons of Kartivirya. So there is some pastime. Aurva was a personality who was born in the Bhrigu dynasty. He was about to be killed by the sons of Kartivirya. Produced a fire out of his wrath. So out of his anger, Aurva produced a fire. This fire threatened the whole world. So this fire was supposed to consume the whole world. The Bhargavas are those who are coming in the Bhrigu dynasty, persuaded Aurva to cast it in the ocean, where it remains concealed with the face of a horse. So this is that Vadaba fire which Rupa Goswami is referring to. Now what that has to do with the blessing what Rupa Goswami is giving, now we'll come to that. Just as the ocean remains present to restrict the flame of the Vadaba fire. Now, although this Vadaba fire is down in the south pole, in the face of the horse, it is emanating fire, but this fire can do nothing because there is a huge, vast water body like the ocean, which is restricting this Vadaba fire. So because of the presence of the ocean water, the Vadaba fire cannot show its original face. It cannot do anything. It cannot disturb the ocean. So just as the ocean always remains present to restrict the flame of the Vadaba fire, this work, the ocean of Bhakti Ras, this is also a Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is, should always remain to present to restrict the speaking power of the Mimamsakas. So this is the analogy which is being compared. The Vadaba fire is restricted by the ocean. Similarly, the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu ocean restricts the tongue of the Karma Mimamsakas and the Jnana Mimamsakas. They cannot, actually enter into the mystery of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. They don't have any locus standi, you can say. They cannot enter into the Bhakti Ras. They cannot enter and with their harsh arguments cause any disturbance in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, ocean of Bhakti Ras. So let it restrict these Mimamsakas who are compared to the Jivvam, the fires. Now, a deeper meaning. From taking the whole meaning of the verse, it should be understood that his desire is not just restriction, but extreme restriction, complete extinction of their criticism. So, the Vadaba fire restricts, the fire is there, but it is restricted by the ocean. But here, what Rupa Goswami says, the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu ocean is a huge ocean, and it is composed of Bhakti Ras. It is not like just restriction, complete extinction of the criticisms. The criticizers have no say or no way they can enter into the mystery of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. In the case of the ocean, restriction of the fire occurs because of the ocean's natural possession of huge quantities of water, one type of rasa or liquid. In the case of the present work, the restriction of the criticism takes place because of the natural sweetness of the work. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is filled with nectar. So because it is naturally filled with nectar, the restriction of the criticism takes place. Another meaning is that though the ocean restricts the Vadaba fire, but does not extinguish it. There is the Vadaba fire down in the South Pole. It is still burning, but it cannot cause any problem because there is a huge quantity of water which is restricting it. May this work somehow completely extinguish the criticism of the Mimamsakas. Because this Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, it should extinguish these Mimamsakas who are like Jivvam, Katinam Jivvam they are. So that is the meaning conveyed in this verse. So this is one Ashirvad given to the audience. So now I would like to ask a question because I know the subject is a little difficult because first time we are hearing. I want to know, please raise your hand. What is the comparison of the Vadaba fire, which is there in the ocean, and the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and who are the Mimamsakas compared to? What is the comparison? What is the analogy between the two comparisons? Can anyone in their own words explain it? Raise your hand who would like to answer. Who would like to answer? Not even one. Yes, there is one hand raised, only one. Okay. Yes, Dhanalakshmi Mataji, yes.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhu. The criticisms that's been, I mean, he doesn't want any of the criticisms, even though if there is a criticism, it should not overtake or it should not cover the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu uh, um, work. So
Okay.
he compares that like the Vadaba fire, even though fire has its own potency of heat, but still it is there inside. But it's fully covered with the ocean. Same way, even though if there may be criticisms by these Mamsakis, uh, he doesn't want that to overpower this particular work.
Okay, I can rephrase your understanding is clear. Just there is like a Vadaba fire in the South Pole, which is restricted by the huge quantity of the ocean water. Similarly, uh, Rup Goswami is praying that these Mimamsakas, whose tongue is compared, harsh arguments are compared to like fires, uh, they will be completely restricted by the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu ocean. They will be completely restricted. So this is one understanding. A deeper understanding is, uh, although there is the Vadabai fire and it is restricted by the ocean, it is not completely extinguished. The fire is there. But Rup Goswami is saying there should be complete restriction of the Mimamsakas. That means they don't have any access to this Bhakti Ras. Such is the huge nectar of the Bhakti Ras. This is the Ashirvad.
Uh, Excuse me, Prabhuji, I just have one more. This clarification I need. This is
Yeah.
nothing to do with the class that you're taking. When there was a scholar who came in and was asking, want to have a debate uh, with Rupa
Rup
Goswami.
Goswami.
Yeah, and then he just gave in writing that he also, and even Sanatana Goswami also gave in writing that, okay, we are defeated, you take it and go.
Yes.
But when he went and argued with Jiva Goswami said that, I know everything about it, and he was refuting all his mistakes. Whatever the questions posed on, and then he was refuting it, and then he said, "Oh, I don't know about all these things." Then he tore off those papers, and then he went off. Then after Rupa
What is the
Goswami
question?
is
What is the question?
the question is that why he punished Jiva Goswami, asked him to go away from uh,
Okay.
Vrindavan.
Okay. This pastime is there when one famous Pandit, uh, Digvijay Pandit, had come and he challenged Rup Goswami. Rup Goswami is not interested in arguing, and wasting the time when he was relishing Bhakti Ras. So he said, "Okay, I don't have time for this. You want a signature? Please go away. Don't waste my time. I'm absorbed in bhajan and I'm relishing the mellows of devotional service." But Jeev Goswami, being a student of Rup Goswami, felt that the scholars is proud and he doesn't know the scholarship of Rupa Goswami. So he defended the Gaudiya Parampara by arguing with him and defeating him and establishing the Siddhanta, which was proper for Jiva Goswami. And although Jiva Goswami did add the service to his spiritual master, uh, there is one thing the disciple has sometimes one duty is not only that he should follow the teachings of his spiritual master, but then there are their teachings which are opposite to Siddhanta, which are presented. He should defend them. This is also the duty of the disciple. Defend. Sometimes the spiritual master might um, be opposed in some Siddhantic point. So the disciple should defend. So this is what Jiva Goswami did. And although Rupa Goswami is pleased with Jiva Goswami, but still ultimately Rupa Goswami wanted to teach a higher lesson. He ostracized Jiva Goswami by punishing him. And this kind of a punishment uh, is purification. Actually, it is purification in one sense. So sometimes the spiritual master, when he punishes the disciple, it is very purifying in one sense. So ultimately, then he was away from Vrindavan, sitting in a bhajan kutir and practically, he was fasting and just, shouting, crying out, ha ha, Rupa Sanatan. Then Sanatan Goswami came there and he took compassion and told Rup that your duty is to, have compassion on jivas. He's also a jiva. He's Jiva Goswami. So like that, this pastime happened. So these pastimes have some deeper inner meanings. One is what is the disciple's duty towards the spiritual master. Secondly, when the spiritual master, uh, even though externally might punish the disciple, that punishment is for his purification. So that lesson is what we learn from this pastime.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, we'll go to the next verse now. This is also another verse, which is Ashirvad. Bhakti rasasya prasutir akhila jagan mangala prasangasya agyenapi mayasya kriyate suridam pramodaya. Though I am ignorant, agyenapi maya. Maya means I. Agyenapi means I am ignorant. I have undertaken asya kriyate, this work concerning bhakti ras related to Krishna, bhakti rasasya prasutir, which is auspicious for the whole world. Akhila Jagan Mangala. So this is the Ashirvad. This bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu is going to bring auspiciousness to the whole world. And what? For the joy of my friends. Suridham Pramodaya. It will bring Pramod. Mod means happiness, joy. Pramod means Prakrishta Rupena Mod, extreme happiness. Suridham. Suridham means my friends. So general Ashirvad to all the Vaishnavas that it will bring auspiciousness and joy to their friends. So this is another Ashirvad verse in 116 of the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Now let us see what Jiva Goswami has to say. I do not really have the power to bring about conciliation between scholars who are favorable and unfavorable to spiritual rasa. But for that purpose, I have made this scripture. This is expressed in this verse. As in verse 2, he calls himself ignorant, again, out of humility. So there also, he had used that word, Varaka Rupapu. Varaka, I am wild person. And Saraswati turned the meaning. Vara Akhyati. You're the best to be glorified. So here also, out of humility, he is saying again api. But there is another meaning. Again, Saraswati gives another meaning. The other positive meaning of Agyahavar is with whom no wise man can compare. So that is another meaning, and how it comes out. For that, we have to know Sanskrit, which is not, in our field also, because we have to know Vyakaran. So this is a short commentary, but Prabhupada has given in his NOD introduction, paragraph 9, a very nice explanation. The author of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami, very humbly submits that he is just trying to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, although he humbly thinks himself unfit for this work. Again, Api, Prabhupada is speaking. Prabhupada is saying that should be the attitude of all preachers of the Krishna conscious movement, following in the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami. So, what should be the attitude of the devotees who are preaching the Bhakti literatures, preaching the Bhakti movement? They should always be humble as following Rupa Goswami. We should never think of ourselves as great preachers, but should always consider that we are simply instrumental to the previous acharyas, and simply by following in their footsteps, we may be able to do something for the benefit of suffering humanity. So we should just consider ourselves, we should not consider ourselves as great preachers, but we are simply instruments. And for the suffering humanity, Jivadaya, we are taken up this work. just to show compassion on the suffering humanity. So Prabhupada, puts these points in his summary study. If you refer to the Veda base, it is there in paragraph 6 here. So this is where we finish the Mangalacharan verses, Vastu Nirdesh, Namaskar and Ashirvad. Okay. So now again, you'll have to answer. Mangalacharan has 3 aspects. What are the 3 aspects? Raise your hand. Prabhuji. Okay. Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Vastu Nirdesh, Namaskar, Ashirvad.
Yes. Okay. Excellent. Now, mute all the participants. What is the Vastu Nirdesh verse of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu? You need not recite the entire verse, at least the beginning. What is the Vastu Nirdesh verse of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu? Raise your hand. What is the Vastu Nirdesh verse of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu? Nitya Sevini Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, is it 1.1.1?
Yeah, but what it is verse? Just one line also you can recite.
No, I'm not sure, Prabhu.
Okay, let us see. Yeah, let us see if somebody else can answer. Yes, Lata Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Akila Rasamrita Sindhu.
Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Yeah, I know it is difficult. It is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Prasmara Ruchi Ruddha Taraka Pali. Khalita Shama Lalito Radha Prayan Vidur Jayati. This is Vastu Nirdesh. Okay. Then there is Namaskar. Namaskar also has 3 aspects. Which are the 3 aspects in Namaskar? Raise your hand. Pavan Balagovind Prabhuji has quickly raised his hand. Yes, Pavan Balagovind Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam Prabhu.
Yes.
One is Guru Vandana, Vaishnava Vandana, and Bhagavan Vandana.
Yes. So we have to chronologically tell. First is Bhagavan Vandana, Guru Vandana, then Vaishnava Vandana.
Vaishnava Vandana. Sorry.
Anyone knows just the beginning of the verse of Bhagavan Vandana can raise their hand. Bhagavan Vandana verse. Bhagavan Vandana, anyone knows? Anyone can recollect? Of course, I'll share the slides immediately after this class so that you can repeatedly refer them and study along with your Nectar of Devotion book. I know it is a little difficult, but let me see. Oh, there are a few hands. Yes, Dhanalakshmi Mataji. I've unmuted you. Yes, Mataji, you can speak.
Okay, I'm reading from the book 1.1.2. Hridiyasya Preraranaya.
Yeah. Correct. That's what I want, Savish. Hridiyasya Preranaya Pravittoham Varaka Rupapi Tasya Hare Padakamalam Vande Chaitanya Devasya. Yeah. If you can just also. Nitya Sevini Mataji has raised her hand. Yes, Mataji, you have to say something.
Prabhu, same thing I was reciting, Varaka Rupa, that hint you have given to remember.
Okay.
We're discussing about low humanity and other things.
Yes. Now, Guru Vandana. Guru Vandana, which is the verse? Which is the verse? Anyone has any idea? Guru Vandana? Oh. Yes, Nitya Sevini Mataji.
1.13.
Mhm. You can recite at least one line or one word at least. Yeah, I know. Okay, it is Vishrama Mandiratyatasya Sanatana Tanor Madishasya Bhakti Rasamrita Sindur Bhavatu Sadayam Pramodaya. Then what about the next Vaishnava Vandana? Vaishnava Vandana.
1.1.
Obeisances to the Vaishnavas. This is very, very, very important verse. Vaishnava Vandana, which is the verse? Anyone, at least the verse number or the first word or first line? Yes, one hand is raised. Dhanalakshmi Mataji, yes? Yes, Mataji. I've unmuted you. Yes, Mataji.
Text is 1.1.4. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhav Charatha Paribhuta Kala Jala Diyaha Bhakta Makaran Ashilita Mukti Nandikan
Namaste.
Namasyami.
Yes, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhav Charata Paribhuta Kala Jhala Biha Bhakta Makarana Shilita Mukti Nadikan Namasyami. This is the verse. Yes, correct. So 3 Vandanas we have finished. Bhagavan, Vaishnav and Guru. Then what is the third aspect of Mangalacharan? Third aspect of Mangalacharan. Okay, someone else also. Vaishali Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Today is the first class for me. So the third aspect is Ashirvad.
Yes, it is Ashirvad. What is the Ashirvad Rupa Goswami is giving to the readers? What is the Ashirvad?
The first Ashirvad is, may this nectar of devotion restrict completely the Mimamsika from the criticism.
Yes, just like
The Vardhava fire, which
Yes.
is when ocean is controlling the Vardhava fire.
excellent, excellent, wonderful. And what is the next Ashirvad?
Next Ashirvad is, it will bring auspiciousness and joy to all the friends and the whole world.
Yes, yes. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So thank you very much. So now we will go further into Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Now, after the Mangalacharan verses are over, then there is few verses which are Granth Vibhag, the division of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Before now he goes into the book, first he does the Granth Vibhag. So now this is in the form of verses. I will just read the verse and translation and then I'll present it. And I'll read it, you can just hear. Etasya bhagavat bhakti rasamrita payonidhe chatvar khalo vikshante bhaga purvadaya krama. The division of the book, Granth Vibhag. In this sweet ocean of Bhakti Ras offered to the Lord, Etasya Bhagavat Bhakti Rasamrita Payonide, 4 sections, Chatvara Khalo Vikshante Bhaga. Bhaga means divisions. Starting with the Eastern Ocean, Purvadaya, will be expounded one after the another. Krama. Etasya Bhagavat Bhakti Rasamrita Payonide, Chatvara Khalo Vikshante Bhaga, Purvadaya Krama. Purva means eastern, from eastern going clockwise, eastern, southern, western, northern, like that. So there are these 4 divisions. Tatra purve vibhagesmin bhakti bheda nirupake anukramena vaktavyam laharinam chatushtayam. The Eastern division, Tatra Purva Vibhagesmin, defines the different types of bhakti. Bhakti Bheda Nirupake. This will be discussed in 4 successive waves, chapters. Anukramena Vaktavyam Laharinam Chatushtayam. Chatushtayam means the 4 divisions. So just like the ocean has now been divided into 4 divisions, Eastern, Southern, Western, Northern. Now within these each divisions, there are waves which are called as laharis. So in the Eastern division, what is being discussed? Different types of bhakti. And there are 4 different waves in it. Now what are those? Adya Samanya Bhaktyadya Dvitiya Sadhananvita Bhavashrita Tritiya Cha Dhurya Prema Nirupika. So what are these 4 waves? This verse is saying. The first wave of the Eastern division is the ocean is concerned with bhakti in general. Adya, Samanya Bhakti, Adya. So Samanya Bhakti is the first chapter, first wave. The second wave describes Sadhana Bhakti, Dvitiya Sadhana Vita. The third wave describes Bhava Bhakti, Bhava Ashrita Tritiyacha. Fourth wave describes Prema Bhakti, Turiya Prema Nirupika. So we did this Granth Vibhag initially, and we know that now this Eastern division has this Samanya Bhakti, first wave, second wave Sadhana Bhakti, which has Vaidhi and Raganuga, and third is Bhava Bhakti, fourth is Prema Bhakti. So this is the division of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. So now we have finished one of the themes in the introduction, that is, we have finished Vastu Nirdesh Shlok of Akil Rasamrit Sindhu. Now we will begin with the definition of pure devotional service, another theme in the first wave. So any questions, any clarifications you have up till now, before we now go to the definition of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu or definition of pure devotional service. This we will be discussing today and tomorrow. It will take time because this verse you have to understand, because without understanding what is pure devotion, we will not be able to practice pure devotion. And this is a lifetime of our, whole lifetime. We have to apply this definition of pure devotional service and come to this standard. So it is very important that we understand this definition given by Rupa Goswami of pure devotion. I will discuss now today. I will begin today. We will take some part of definition of pure devotional service, and tomorrow's class we will complete it. Tomorrow and today class, especially about Uttama Bhakti definition, is very important for us. Any questions, any clarifications up till now? Anyone has anything to say? Okay, so now let us go to definition of pure devotional service. So this is the next verse before he defines pure devotional service. Tatra dushushta vaishishyam asya katayitum sputam lakshanam kriyate bhaktir uttamaya satam matam. In the first wave or chapter, Tatrado, now he is going to discuss Eastern division. In Eastern division, he is going to discuss the first wave. In order to describe clearly the superiority of bhakti, Shushta Vaishishtam Asya Kataitam Sputam, to other processes, the unique characteristics, Lakshanam of Uttama Bhakti, Uttama Bhaktir, will be related, Kriyate, as approved by the Acharyas. Satam Matam, according to the Acharyas. So here I would like to just make a point and make it clear. How many devotees who are attending here have actually studied the third canto, especially Kapil Dev's teachings from chapter 25 to 29, and especially chapter 29? Raise your hands. How many devotees have studied this third canto, especially chapters 25 to 29, especially chapter 29? Devotees who have read any devotees who have read third canto Kapil Shiksha can raise their hands? Not. None of the devotees have read Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, there are two devotees. Okay. Long time. Whatever it is. If anyone has read, they can raise. Okay. So I just want to make a point. You can lower your hands. That both in the Kapil Shiksha, Kapil Dev speaks about mixed devotion. There is Satvika Bhakti, Rajasika Bhakti, and Tamasika Bhakti. And then he gives definition of Nirgun Bhakti. Nirgun Bhakti is Uttama Bhakti only. Sometimes it is called as Nirgun Bhakti, Uttama Bhakti. In the Gita, Krishna uses the word Ananya Bhakti or Kevala Bhakti or Akinchana Bhakti. So first he discusses mixed devotion and then he comes to the definition of pure devotion. This is what Kapil Dev does. In the Jiva Goswami's works of Sandarbhas, especially Bhakti Sandarbha, there also Jiva Goswami discusses mixed devotion first, and then he comes to pure devotion. But Rupa Goswami doesn't do that. Rupa Goswami directly gives pure devotion. And he defines pure devotion because in pure devotion, all the characteristics fully manifest. And that's why he only goes to define what is pure devotion. But devotees also should know what is mixed devotion, Mishra Bhakti, what we say. Because if you don't know what is mixed, then you will not come to know what is pure also. Once, if you have tasted Prabhupada used to speak like pure devotion is like pure sweets made out of pure ghee. I don't know which specific item Prabhupada used to refer. Mysore Pak, I think he used to refer. So when Mysore Pak is made out of pure ghee and it is quickly sold, the moment it is prepared, it is sold because it's pure. So anything which is pure is having, it attracts. And if you have tasted pure Mysore Pak and later on you come and taste, Mysore Pak which is not made in pure ghee but in dhalda, when you taste it, you'll realize, oh, there is no some beautiful rasa manifesting when I'm tasting it. So you can understand mixed when you've tasted pure. So similarly, sometimes mixed devotion is also to be clearly understood so that we will know what is pure devotion and practice pure devotion. Rupa Goswami has directly spoken mixed devotion because in pure devotion, because in pure devotion, all the qualities of bhakti manifest, all the characteristics of bhakti manifest. So there are unique characteristics. There are 6 unique characteristics which fully manifest in only Uttama Bhakti. So that is why he has discussed only Uttama Bhakti. Let us see now Jiva Goswami, what he has to say about it. In the first wave of the Eastern Division, Tatra, first of all, the characteristics of Uttama Bhakti or pure Bhakti will be dealt with. The whole of Bhakti will not be discussed. So directly the characteristics of pure Bhakti are dealt. All other types of Bhakti are not dealt. The reason is given. This is in order to describe clearly the supreme position of Bhakti. When Bhakti is not pure and is covered by other desires in the form of Jnana and Karma, its strength is not full. So when the Bhakti is not covered, it is either Karma Mishrit or Jnana Mishrit, then the full strength of Bhakti is not fully manifested. And we know this verse in the Bhagavatam, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajanti Purusha Param Akama Sarvakama Moksha Kamava. The Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajanti Purusha Param. Whether one is having akama, Sarva Kama or Moksha Kama, one should practice Tivrena Bhakti. Tivrena Bhakti means one should practice pure devotion. By practicing pure devotion, what will happen? The karma mission will go away, the jnana mission will go away. So Vishwanath Chakra Thakur in his purport explains, just like when the sun is covered by the clouds, the full potency and energy of the sun, we cannot fully, experience it because the clouds are covering. Similarly, when pure bhakti is covered by karma, or in the form of karma or gyan, then the full strength of the bhakti is not manifested. With such impure types of bhakti, that is karma mishra or jnana mishra, the characteristics appear only partially. The characteristics of bhakti appear only partially. Thus, mixed bhakti cannot be used to show the supreme nature of bhakti. And the verse is understood from this verse. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarve gunestatra samasate sura harava bhaktasya kuto mahat guna manorastena sati dhavato bahi. Yasya asti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. Akinchana is pure devotion. Sarver gunes tatra samasate sura. All the qualities manifest. So only when there is akinchana bhakti or pure bhakti do all the qualities manifest, not in mishra bhakti, either karma mishra or jnana mishra bhakti. Only in akinchana or pure bhakti do all the qualities fully manifest. So this is the verse Jiva Goswami is referring here. Now, why define only Uttama Bhakti? Why not just Bhakti? Subject matter is rasa. Only by pure devotional service can one establish a relationship with Krishna in one of the 5 principal rasas, especially the 4 rasas, Dhasya, Sakya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. If the devotion service is mixed, no samipya, at most shantarati. So there is no intimacy as it is there in Dasya, further in Sakya. The Krishna's friends, they climb on Krishna because that is the kind of purity they have. Also, the 6 benefits of Uttam Bhakti would only manifest partially. Yasya asti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. So this is the reason why Rupa Goswami is discussing only Uttama Bhakti, not Mishra Bhakti. Karma Mishra Bhakti or Jnana Mishra Bhakti is only discussing pure devotional service. Okay, I hope devotees are clear about the previous verse discussion. Any questions, any clarifications you have? Please raise your hands. Please feel free to ask or clarify. I hope devotees are clear about it. Okay. No questions, right? Okay. So now we will come to this most important verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, defining Uttama Bhakti. So I will recite this verse, and devotees also, 1 or 2 devotees also can recite this verse. And this verse should be our heartbeat verse. Means every time we perform devotional service, we should remember that this is what we are practicing. And this is what is our goal, to practice pure devotion service. So I'll recite this verse, and devotees also can take chance to recite. Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karmadyanavritam anukulena krishnano shilanam bhaktiruttama. Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karmadyanavritam anukulena krishnano shilanam bhaktiruttama. Devotees can try. Anyone who would like to recite this verse can raise their hand. Okay, a lot of hands have raised. Okay, first let me give those who have not yet got a chance. Harinam Sankirtan Prabhuji. I will share the screen and you can recite.
Okay. अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यं ज्ञानकर्माद्यनावृतम् अनुकूलेन कृष्णा अनुशीलनं भक्तिरुत्तमा
Anukulena Krishnanu Sheelanam Bhaktiruttama. Okay. Jnana Karmadya.
Adi.
Why is there here? Not Adi. Why is there?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. There were others who had raised their hands. Okay. Surya Kondu Prabhuji. Yes. I have unmuted you. You can recite.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Anyabhilashita sunyam punya karmadya anuvritam anukullena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama.
Yeah. Here it is Jnana Karmadya Anavritam.
Jnana karmadya.
Shunya Karmadino Jnana Karmadya Anavritam Sheelanam Bhaktir.
Anavritam.
Bhaktir is here. R
Bhaktir
is there.
uttama.
Uttama.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Please every day memorize this verse. Practice it because this is what we are practicing. This is what devotion Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada has come to give us. So we have to understand and we have to recite this verse. Yes, Audare Gaurang Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Anyavilasite sunyam jnana karmadaya anavritam anukulena krishnanu silam bhakti uttama.
Okay. Anya Abhilashite, no? Anya Abhilashita. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Sheelanam. So it will come by practice over a period of a year or two. If you practice regularly, na, it will definitely come. The recitation is a part of our learning. Okay. One last Nitya Sevani Mataji. Yes, Mataji. I hope I have unmuted you. Yes, I have unmuted you.
अन्याभिलाषित शून्यं ज्ञानकर्माद्य अनावृतम् अनुकूलेन कृष्णानो शीलनं भक्तिरुत्तमा.
Yes, excellent. It was only Anya Abhilashita.
Anyabhilashita.
It is A is long A, Dirgha, what we call. Okay. There were a few more hands. I would like to finish with everyone so that Pavanabal Govind Prabhuji.
अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यं ज्ञानकर्म्यादनावृतम् अनुकूलेन कृष्णानुशीलनं भक्तिरुत्तमा.
Okay, excellent. Yes. Lata Mataji also has raised her hand. Yes, Mataji.
अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यं ज्ञानकर्माद् अनावृतम् अनुकूल्येन कृष्णानुशीलनं भक्तिरुत्तमा.
Yes. Jnana Karmadya Anavritam. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. If you see the Sanskrit verses, then it is very easy to recite. I will also share the file of the Sanskrit verses so that you can regularly try to memorize. Okay, fine. Let us hear the translation. The highest bhakti, Bhaktir Uttama, is defined as continuous service or emotions. That is the meaning of Anushilanam. We will come to know that how Anushilam refers to continuous service or emotions directed towards Krishna, his expansion forms, or others related to him. That is the meaning of Krishna. Krishna means Krishna, his expansions, or others related to him. How? With a pleasing attitude towards Krishna, anukulena. It should be devoid of desires other than the desire to please the Lord. That is the meaning of Anyabhilashita Shunyam. We will come to each of these word meanings because Rupa Goswami is going to, actually Jiva Goswami in his commentary is going to elaborate what Anushilanam is, what Krishna is, what is Anukulena, what is Anyabhilashita Shunyam. So when we look into that time it will become clear. And unobstructed by impersonal gyan, the materialistic rituals of karma or other favorable acts. Jnana karmadya anavritam. So that is the translation. Now we will go into the explanation of this verse by Jiva Goswami as well as Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, as well as how Srila Prabhupada has given in his Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu summary study. First, Srila Prabhupada. First class devotional service, Bhakti Uttama, Prabhupada calls it as first class, is known by one's tendency to be fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, serving the Lord favorably. So Anukulena is serving Lord favorably, and Krishna consciousness is Krishna, and Anushilam is engaging, in service of Krishna. That's how Prabhupada explains. Pure devotional service should be free from the desire of any material benefit or for sense gratification. This is how Prabhupada translates as Anyabhilashita Shunyam. Pure devotional service must always be free from such fruitive activities and philosophical speculation. Jnana karmadya anavritam. One has to learn Krishna consciousness or pure devotional service from the authorities by spontaneous loving service. That's how Prabhupada translates Anushilanam. Okay. Now, this verse has what is called as Mukhya Lakshan and Gauna Lakshan, primary and secondary characteristics of Uttama Bhakti. So there are these Mukhya Lakshan and Gauna Lakshan. What is the meaning of Mukhya Lakshan, the primary characteristics? Mukhya Lakshan means what? Removing these characteristics, there is no Bhakti. Secondary characteristics or Gauna Lakshan, removing these characteristics, the Bhakti ceases to be superior nature. That means Uttama Bhakti. It ceases to be pure devotion. So this is the meaning of Mukhya Lakshan and Gauna Lakshan. I'll give you an example, simple example to understand the meaning of Mukhya Lakshan and a Gauna Lakshan. Like water. There is Mukhya Lakshan, there is water which is a liquid substance. That is its Mukhya Lakshan. And water can be in different states. It can be cold, it can be hot, it can be solid in the form of ice, it can be salty, it can be sweet, it can have these different tastes. So the primary characteristic is that the water should be there. That is the main thing. If water itself is not there, then you cannot call it as water. Then secondly, water is there. That is primarily there. But if that water is sour or it is filled with mud, then the secondary characteristics come into picture. And if the water is pure and sweet, then that water is pure water, you say. So like that, water also has the primary qualities or the primary characteristics, which are called as Mukhya Lakshan, and the secondary characteristics, which are called as the Gauna Lakshan. So this kind of definitions have these primary and secondary characteristics. And here, Jiva Goswami has explained that in this verse, there are Anukulena Krishnanushilanam are the Mukhya Lakshan, and Anyabhilashita Shunyam and Jnana Karmadi Anavritam are the Gauna Lakshan. So he has explained. We will go into that more in detail. But now I have an exercise for you all, and kindly hear carefully, and you have to answer about primary and secondary characteristics. Identify the Gaun and the Mukh Lakshanas in this definition of a good student. So here is a definition. Rishikesh goes to school and scores very good marks. Hence, he is a good student. So in this statement, kindly raise your hand and answer what are the Mukh Lakshan and the Gaun Lakshan. Okay, 3 participants have raised their hands. Let us give first chance to Vaishali Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Which is the Mukhya Lakshan? And
Yeah, Rishikesh goes to school and score good mark is the Mukhya Lakshana, and Gauna is he's a good, that's why he's a good student. He's called a good student.
okay, let us hear from others. Madan Mohan has raised his hand. Okay, Madan Mohan, Prabhuji. Yes, I've unmuted him.
Going to school is the mukhya gun, and then getting good marks is the gonya gun.
Yes, excellent. Rishikesh goes to school is the Mukhya Lakshan. He might go to the school, but he might not be scoring very good marks. Only when he scores good mark, then he's a good student. So both the Mukhya Lakshan and the Gaun Lakshan make him a good student. So similarly, the Gaun Lakshan, if you remove, then the characteristics of Bhakti and the superior nature of Bhakti, the purity of Bhakti fully doesn't manifest. So many might go to the school and they might be failing. So they cannot be a good student, they'll be a bad student. So like that, there is this Mukhya Lakshan and Gaun Lakshan. So first thing about Mukhya and Gaun Lakshan, I hope it is clear. Now, having identified the Mukhya Lakshan as Anukulena Krishnanushilanam, let us now go into the Mukhya Lakshan, each statement. Anushilanam. Now, Anushilanam is a Mukhya Lakshan. Why Anushilanam is a Mukhya Lakshan? Anyone would like to say? Why Anushilanam is a Mukhya Lakshan? Raise your hands. Why Anushilam is a Mukhya Lakshan? Anyone else? Okay, first let us give a chance to Madan Mohan Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, what I understand, Haribol, Anushilanam, the English translation is cultivation. That means you work towards a process and then you get a goal. So Anushilanam is the Mukhya Gun, and then you get a result. That is the Gona link.
Okay, okay. Harinam Sankirtan Prabhu, what do you have to say? Why Anushilanam is Mukhya Lakshan?
My understanding is that one has to act favorably according to the requirements, that is Anushilam, to reach the goal. So that is very much important.
Yeah, okay. We'll keep it again still more simpler. I hope and I know. If there is no activity done in devotional service, then there is no bhakti only done. There is no bhakti done. So without Anushilanam there being there, the Mukhya Lakshan is not there. That's why removing these characteristics, there is no bhakti. Mother says, I have love for my child. And she doesn't serve the child. She doesn't feed the child. She doesn't take care of the child. She doesn't dress the child. She doesn't cook for the child. And she says that I have love for my child. So she doesn't do any activities in relationship to her child. So similarly, I have bhakti for Krishna and I'm not engaged in chanting. I'm not engaged in hearing Krishna Katha. I am not engaged in any of the activities of devotion. So there is a, if there is no activities. Anushilam means activities. Then if it is not there, then the Mukha Lakshan is not there. So removing these characteristics, there is no bhakti. That is why Anushilanam is Mukhya Lakshan. I hope it is clear.
Very clear.
Okay, so now let us go more deeper into Anushilanam. Anushilanam, root word dhatu. So in Sanskrit, there is the dhatu. Dhatu means the root of the words. There is anu and there is shil. So anu is a prefix, in fact. Shil. Shil has two connotations. And the connotations are the meanings in the context. Now, hear this carefully. I know you are all first time hearing this, but it is important for us to understand. And it will take some time to digest this definition of pure devotional service. Not some time, maybe some years or so. But as we study Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and as we practice Bhakti, it will become more and more clear. So the Shil has two connotations. Pravritatmika, expressing action to worship, practice and serve. That is positive actions what we are doing. There are actions you are doing. You are worshipping Krishna. You are practicing Krishna consciousness like chanting. You are serving the deities, serving the Vaishnavas. So these are expressing actions. And Nivritatmaka means non-action. That is to be intensely absorbed. So Prahlad Maharaj is just sitting and in his mind he is absorbed in Smaranam of Krishna. So there is no actions which are expressed, but still he is intensely absorbed in Krishna. So it's in one sense, externally it looks like a non-action, but internally he is absorbed. Now his mind is in meditation in one sense. So this Shil has these two connotations, Pravritatmika and Nivritatmaka. Sorry, Pravritatmaka and Nivritatmaka. Now, the word Anu. The word Anu, as I mentioned, is a prefix. And Anu has many meanings. Anu means continuous. Anu means with devotion. Anu means repeatedly. Anu means following after. So Anu has these different meanings, and sometimes one meaning will fit in that context, and sometimes many meanings also can fit in one context. So now, okay, let us do this exercise. It's important because we have to understand this verse. Now here in the Bhagavad Gita, I am opening this verse. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhacha. Smara means to remember, anusmara, it's mentioned. So kindly raise your hands among these four meanings or four meanings of Anu. Which one fits here in this verse? Yes, there are two devotees who have raised their hands. We'll give chance to Avdare Gauranga Prabhuji. Yes, Avdare Gaurang Prabhuji. I have unmuted you. Which is the meaning which fits in here? I have unmuted you, Prabhuji.
Continuous, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Continuous.
Oh, excellent, excellent. It is continuous. Okay. So now let us do another exercise. Okay, in the not just spontaneously what I'm remembering, in the term Rupanuga, there is Rupa, Anu and Ga. Okay, so there what meaning fits in here among the four meanings? Rupa, Anuga, Rupanuga, there the word Anu is there. So Harinam Sankirtan Prabhu has raised his hand. Yes, Prabhuji.
Following after.
Yes, following after. Okay. Yeah, abhyasa, yes, okay, I'm able to. I was looking for, okay, it's not here. Okay, fine. So I hope devotees got the clear understanding that Anu can have this different meanings, and Anu here, all the meanings fit in for Anushilanam here. Most important. Okay, so now let us go further now. Anushilanam. Now, because of the pravritatmika and the nivritatmika connotations of the root shil, the word Anushilanam also takes two different flavors.
Cheshta Rupa
Okay.
Anushilanam.
Cheshta Rupa Anushilanam and Bhava Rupa Anushilanam. Okay, what is this Cheshta Rupa and Bhava Rupa? Cheshta Rupa indicates continuous action using body, mind, and words without any spiritual emotions. Cheshta. Sometimes you say, just do some cheshta, just endeavor, man, endeavor to practice devotion or endeavor to practice cricket in the net practice. You have to do endeavor. So Cheshta Rupa Anushilam means there is continuous actions which are done using body, mind, and word, but there is no bhava. Bhava means emotions. And there is something called as, okay, this generally refers to devotional service at the sadhana bhakti stage. In the sadhana bhakti stage, we should endeavor with our body, mind, and words to practice, do actions to in relationship with Krishna. So Cheshta Rupa Anushilam refers to sadhana stage bhakti. Now there is something called as Bhava Rupa Anushilam. Indicates continuous action using body, mind, and words with spiritual emotions. This is very important for us to understand. Generally refers to devotional service in Bhava and Prema state, Bhakti stages. Now, this is not so much technical. Don't get so much, worried about it. Simple is, you go to the temple and there are devotees who call you and just, please take prasadam and they serve it. But somebody who is very well known to you, after many years you're meeting him, he's also a devotee, and moment you meet him, you embrace him, and he lovingly comes and with his own hands, has cooked and he's himself feeding and he's telling, please have it. So there is some emotions involved. So similarly, one who is at a bhava stage, whatever actions he does, they are actions inspired by love, pure emotions, bhava. And that is what is actually called as Bhava Rupa Anushilanam. So this is the difference between Cheshta Rupa Anushilanam and Bhava Rupa Anushilanam. Srila Prabhupada once, Prabhupada, because he was a personified form of pure love for Krishna, the devotees initially and also later on were so much attracted to Prabhupada that any action Prabhupada did was very attractive. Once Prabhupada was putting his small finger in his nose and removing some dirt from the nose. And even that act, what Prabhupada was doing, some of the disciples who were seeing, they were, they had so much love for Prabhupada that also they were relishing. Because everything Prabhupada did was at a transcendental platform. So this is just an indication or idea for us to know what is Cheshta Rupa Anushilam and Bhava Rupa Anushilam. Cheshta Rupa is actions with body, mind, and word without spiritual emotions, and it refers to sadhana stage bhakti. And Bhava is continuous action with body, mind, and words, but with spiritual emotions. And it refers generally to devotional service in Bhava and Prema Bhakti stages. Of course, Cheshta Rupa Anushilanam with sadhana bhakti practice, when we attain Bhava Bhakti, will turn to Bhava Rupa Anushilanam. Okay, so now we have understood about We went to Anushilanam. In Anushilanam, we went to the root word Anu and Shila. Shil has this two connotations, Pravritatmaka and Nivritatmaka, action and non-action. Anu has these four meanings. And because of these Pravritatmaka, Nivritatmaka connotations, there are flavors in devotion. Cheshta Rupa Anushilanam and Bhava Rupa Anushilanam. Now Srila Prabhupada on Anushilanam. This devotional service is a sort of cultivation. It is not simply inaction for people who like to be inactive or devote their time to silent meditation. So devotional activity means cultivation. Cultivation means activity. There are many different methods for people who want this, but cultivation of Krishna consciousness is different. The particular word used by Srila Rupa Goswami in this connection is Anushilana, or cultivation by following the predecessor teachers, acharyas. So here when Prabhupada is referring by following the predecessor acharyas, what is he translating in the word Anushilanam? Raise your hand. Yes, Pavana Bala Govind Prabhuji. What is he indicating? Yes, Pavan Bala Govind Prabhuji. I've unmuted you.
Hare Krishna, following
Yeah.
Following the Acharya.
Yeah, following the predecessor acharyas, but what word he is translating here, Prabhupada, in Anushilanam?
Anu.
Anu, yes, this is what I want. Anu, yes, correct. Prabhupada is using the other meaning of here when we saw following after. Is using that meaning. I hope you're able to get it, right? Yes. Now, as soon as we say cultivation, we must refer to activity. Without activity, consciousness alone cannot help us. So cultivation means activity. So this is how Prabhupada translates Anushilanam. All activities may be divided into two classes. One class may be for achieving a certain goal, and other may be for avoiding some unfavorable circumstances. Now, this what Prabhupada is saying, many years when I was studying the summary study of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, I could not really figure out what this means. And only when we had the opportunity to study the Acharya's commentaries on Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, then I came to know. So Prabhupada here, he is referring actually to Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's commentary of Pravritatmika, Nivritatmika. So Vishwanath Chakra Thakur gives a little different meaning. He says positive actions, that is the do's. Especially he refers to the 10 limbs of sadhana bhakti, which are do's. Ado Guru Pada Ashraya, Vishrembena Guru Sevaya. So one should take shelter of the spiritual master, serve the spiritual master, all the positive actions we should do. Then the don'ts are there. The next 10 are the don'ts. You should not do this, you should not do this. So that's positive and negative actions. So this is what Prabhupada is mentioning. One class may be for achieving a certain goal, and the other may be for avoiding some unfavorable circumstances. So this is what Prabhupada is referring to, the do's and don'ts in bhakti. The do is chanting Hare Krishna for us. The don'ts are the 4 regulative principles, so that we can always remember Krishna. I hope you are clear about how Prabhupada is explaining these 2 things. In Sanskrit, these activities are called pravritti and nivritti, positive and negative action. There are many examples of negative action. For instance, a diseased person has to be cautious and take medicine in order to avoid some unfavorable illness. So the diseased person is told not to, do these things and follow the prescription of the medicine. So this is what Prabhupada is referring here as pravritti and nivritti. This is a little different from what we discussed from the Jiva Goswami's commentary. It is a little different what Prabhupada is explaining. Now, next, Okay, so let me see what is the time. It is 8:26, so we have to stop. Yes. Okay, I have only 2 slides, which will take only 2-3 minutes, and then we will stop today. Okay. Now let us, after we have studied this Anushilanam, let us now go to Krishna, because there is prefix of Krishna and Anushilanam is there. Let us go to the word Krishna. Krishna includes Krishna or persons related to Krishna, either in Cheshta Rupa or Bhava Rupa. You can do Anushilanam in Cheshta Rupa or Bhava Rupa for Krishna or Krishna's avatars, Vishnu, or anything related to Krishna. Sometimes it is called as Tadiya Seva. How many of you have heard this term Tadiya Seva? Raise your hands. Tadiya Seva. Tadiya Seva. Pavana Bala Govind Prabhu is the only one who has heard here. Okay, Pavan Bala Govind Prabhu, what is Tadiya Seva? I have unmuted you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Tadiya Seva means serving the Lord from the Lord or the belongings of the Lord.
The persons related to Krishna are called as Tadiya. Anything in connection with anything with the connection with Krishna, like now pure devotion, we are morning doing Tulsi Aarti, right? We are doing Tulsi Aarti. Now, are we practicing pure devotion? Please raise your hand to answer this. We are doing morning Tulsi Aarti. Everyone is, familiar with it. It's not directly we are worshipping Krishna, we are worshipping a pure devotee Tulsi. Is it pure devotional service? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, it is,
Yes,
because it
yes.
is related to Krishna.
Related to Krishna.
It is related to Krishna. So Krishna includes not only Krishna, his expansions, but things related to Krishna, which is called as Tadiya Seva. Can you give me some other examples of Tadiya Seva which we do? Yes, Pavan Bala Govind Prabhu. Yes, Pavan Bala Govind Prabhu ji.
Even Narsimharati or even Narsimharati is also
I'm
related to
specifically
Krishna.
asking about Tadiya Seva. Yes, Madan Mohan Prabhuji.
Tadiya here, as you explained earlier, it is also connected with Radha Kund. If you worship and take bath, sprinkle water on your head is actually connected to Krishna. Therefore, there is also Tadiya Seva.
No, that is directly Krishna Seva, not Tadiya.
Radha Kund.
Yes. Okay, let me give chance to Harinam Sankirtan Prabhu. Any other Tadiya Seva which we do?
Guru Arati Prabhu.
Okay.
Our spiritual masters.
Can you directly give a direct, clear,
Prabhupada Seva, or Guru, they are connected to Krishna. So
Guru Seva, performing Guru Seva, worshipping the Guru, serving the spiritual master is also pure devotional service. Because spiritual master is an expansion of Krishna, is a manifestation of Krishna. So that also falls in the ambit of pure devotional service. Any other Tadiya Seva? Nitya Sevini Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, book distribution is a Tadiya Seva.
Okay, book distribution doesn't so much fall in it. Lata Mataji had raised her hand. Yes, Mataji. Any other?
Vaishnava Seva, Prabhu.
Vaishnava Seva, yes, it can fall in, but still things which are very dear to Krishna. Tulsi is very dear to Krishna. We do Tulsi Arti, that is called as Tadiya Seva. Any other? See, pure devotion service is such a vast topic. Yes, I was looking for this service, this one. Dhanalakshmi Mataji has answered, cow. Worshipping the cows. We all do Gopashtami. Yes, we all do Gopashtami, and that is Tadiya. Outside people might just come and worship the cow and feed the cow, and they think that, by this I can attain punya. So they will attain punya. But devotees, when they worship cow, how they worship, that cow is very dear to Krishna. And that worship of cow is also pure devotional service. I hope it is clear. So this is the meaning of Tadiya Seva. Krishna includes Krishna or persons related to Krishna, either in Cheshta Rupa or Bhava Rupa. Because it involves persons related to Krishna also, it is not too narrow. Otherwise, for example, Guru Padashra is a limb of bhakti, though it is not direct service to Krishna. So that's why Guru Seva is also part of definition of Krishna Anushilanam. It falls in the category of Krishna Anushilanam. Krishna is not narrow, just only Krishna. No. Krishna, Krishna's expansions, Krishna's things related to Krishna, all fall under the ambit of pure devotional service. Other items would be associating with devotees, Vaishnav Seva, somebody said, observing Ekadashi Vrit, living in the Dham. So these are all, Dham is also manifestation of Krishna. Now, the next point is, how can bhakti be spiritual if it is performed using material body and mind? The body and the mind are material, and bhakti is completely spiritual. So in sadhana bhakti, we use our senses in Krishna's service. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uttama, as Narad Pancharatra also says. So, but how is it spiritual when the senses and the mind are, material? Krishna conscious activities are directly under the control of the internal energy. By the mercy of the bona fide Guru and Krishna, all our endeavors are spiritualized. This is what Prabhupada answers. This service or Anushilanam, obtainable only by the mercy of Krishna and his devotees, is a transformation of the Lord's Swarup Shakti, and thus is not material but spiritual. However, one should understand that though it is purely spiritual, it makes its appearance and it is not created since it is eternal. Nitya Siddhasya Bhavasya, as we say, in the body, mind, and words, by taking over the functions of the body, mind, and words. So this is Jiva Goswami's explanation. Now, the most important point to be understood here is that when we come in association of pure devotees and the Bhakti Lata seed is sown in our heart, actually it is Swarup Shakti of Krishna which has entered our heart. And we start practicing Bhakti. The devotional creeper is slowly, it is first sown in the heart and it is nourished by Shravan Kirtan. So we engage the senses and the mind in relationship to Krishna, and slowly, the senses and the mind get spiritualized because there is the Swarup Shakti in the form of Bhakti Lata Bij, which is completely spiritual in the heart, which is sown in the form of Shraddha. The faith of Shraddha is sown in the heart, and although the senses and mind are material, because this Bhakti Lata, the Lord's Swarup Shakti, is shown in the heart, all these activities are, completely spiritual, although the mind and senses are material. Prabhupada is to give a very simple example. Iron, when it is kept in fire, the iron turns into red hot, and that iron no more acts as iron, it acts like fire. So similarly, the senses are getting spiritualized, and the iron rod which is has different qualities. It is dark, it is very sturdy and heavy metal, but in contact with fire, it becomes red hot and it becomes malleable. Similarly, the senses, they get spiritualized because the Swarup Shakti in the form of Bhakti Lata Bij is sown in the heart, and that is spiritual. So the activities are done with body, mind, and senses are completely spiritual. How to perform Krishna Anushilanam? By surrendering unto a bona fide Guru. That's what Prabhupada says. Now, isn't Narsingh Anushilanam or Rama Anushilanam not bhakti? Why not Krishna Anushilanam? Why only Krishna Anushilanam? Why has Rupa Goswami said Krishna Anushilanam? Why has he not said Narsimha Anushilanam, Rama Anushilanam? Who can answer this? Raise your hand. Why has Rupa Goswami used the word Krishna Anushilanam? Why has he not used Rama Anushilanam or Narsimha Anushilanam or Vara Anushilanam? One hand has been raised, two hands. Okay, Hari Nam Sankirtan Prabhu.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Narasimha and Rama are originated from Krishna. So Krishna is the origin of Rama and Narasimha. So we are
Yes.
worshipping the origin.
Yes, yes.
The
Because
ultimate.
Krishna is avatari and all avatars are included in him.
Yeah.
Yes. Everyone has answered in the chat box also correctly. Excellent. So now today we saw what is Mukhya Lakshan, Gauna Lakshan. We identified the Mukhya Lakshans. We went to Anushilanam, Anushila, and then Pravritatmika, Nivritatmika, and then we went to Krishna. What is the meaning of Krishna and why Rupa Goswami has used Krishna Anushilanam? So we have now only discussed Anushilanam and Krishna Anushilanam, the Mukhya Lakshan. So in tomorrow's class, we will discuss Anukulena, the second Mukhya Lakshan. And also we will study the Gauna Lakshans, Anya Bilashita Shunyam and Jnana Karmadya Anavritam. There are two Gauna Lakshans. We will study that tomorrow, and that's how we will finish the discussion on definition of pure devotional service. Now, those who have not attended today's class, if tomorrow they are attending, they should have this background. Otherwise, they'll not be able to follow. So kindly request the other devotees to just follow up with that. So any questions, any clarifications here anyone has up till now? What we have discussed? Okay, Madan Mohan Prabhuji has, yes, something to say. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, one small doubt, like Tulsi Arati is a Tadya Seva because Tulsi is connected to Krishna. So Radha Kund, why it is not, Prabhu?
Radha Kund is directly Krishna,
How?
Radharani. Bhakti is
Radharani.
performed to Radharani. The
Radharani is
personification
also
of Bhakti is Srimati Radharani. And without Srimati Radharani's mercy, we cannot practice Bhakti. Radharani is the internal potency of Krishna. Bhakti is the internal potency of Krishna. So personified form of Bhakti is Srimati Radharani. In fact, in one sense, that is the inner meaning for us to understand. So it's not directly, it's not related to Krishna, it's directly Krishna only. It's, Radha and Krishna are one for us. So it's directly Krishna. Things related to Krishna means
so Govardhan
that which are
can be
very dear to Krishna. Please understand.
like Govardhan can be Tadya Seva.
Yes, Govardhan can be, definitely. Govardhan can be. And there are again different ways devotees look at it. How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looks at it, how the Vrajvasis, Gopis look at it, and how we look at it. And that is a very elaborate topic. We will not go into it. But yes, definitely. Doing parikrama of Govardhan worshipping Govardhan, because Govardhan is Haridasa Varya. He is the best of the servants of the Lord. So seeing Govardhan as a devotee of the Lord and worshipping Govardhan, there is others who also see Govardhan as non-different from Krishna also. There is this two different visions we have. That is a vast subject. We will not go into it. Yes, but that can also fall in that category.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Any other? So thank you very, very much. Shri Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Hare Krishna.